Hello there and welcome to yet another edition of Clearview. Clearview, of course, is our public enlightenment program. And on this edition of the program, I will be bringing a guest, a nationalist, who will be talking not just about politics, but we also want to touch the area of economy. You're welcome. Now, Dr. Kalu, welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, Odion.
Now, let me start with preparation of the independent electoral body for this election of 2019. I am worried, as people are complaining that they'll go to voter registration centers and wait probably from morning till evening, and they're not getting these cards. And publicity is all over the whole place that people should go and register. In your own estimate, will you say the electoral body is ready for 2019 election?
Well, the answer is yes and no. They are ready because most Nigerians have before registered, and they are registering new members. And what I should be pleading to the electoral body is to stop the registration at the local government levels. They should take it to community town halls, the voting centers where the people can be able to afford to register. But most of them are crying about the transportation, are crying about moving from one place to other. Like from where I come from in Igbo, in Abia State, going from my local government council to Igbo town takes you possibly 500 naira going, or at most 1,000 naira going and coming another money. So making people to spend that kind of money is not right. So the electoral body should do everything. Professor Yakubu and his team should try to minimize everything to make sure that people can be registered in their community halls or the voting centers.
Now, you've discovered that priests now mount the pulpits to preach the gospel according to PVC, and even in mosques to the chief imams. Let's say in the churches. Now, is this the best way to get Christians involved in politics?
Not only Christians, both Muslims. You just said it. It is the right thing to do because most Christians and Muslims refuse to collect PVC. So what the priests are doing to announce in the churches for people to go and collect their PVC is very good. And that is where people can register. There's a mosque just down the road in my house. They also announced it, that people should make sure they register. So I don't see anything wrong with Christians calling Christians or Muslims calling Muslims to go and register. I actually urge all Nigerians to register who was above 18 because it is their right to vote legitimately to a candidate of their choice.
Let's zero in on your constituency. In your village, for instance, what is your assessment? Because I know you are monitoring them. The registration exercise.
Registration exercise, the INEC, they are doing very well. People are registering, people are going to register. And I hope, and I also encourage all Nigerians to encourage people in their community to register. It is important because it's only when we stop this election rigging that people will have a better democracy.
And do you think we can do anything about election rigging? It seems as if it has come to stay.
No. What happened in Anambra is not election rigging. The election was free and fair. I was there, and I was there. Governor Obiano won strictly out of hard work. So if we continue to conduct the election, do you see anybody in the court? Nobody's in court in Anambra State because they knew they lost. And I was there. So nobody can tell me that the election cannot move free and fair. It could. It depends on Nigerian people. When community leaders, like they did in Anambra, they went back to their communities and said, nobody will rig this election. I was there and said, we must guide this vote. Even our own APC people work for Abia. Some of them did. I was there. It's just that I cannot call names here. I could have called names. Very important personalities. So that shows that Nigeria is growing. Whichever you see it, I would like to see Nigerians using their vote power to address the inadequacies in the society.
High point of Buhari's achievement, according to presidency, is security. The president believes that it has captured all areas of security, and insecurity is not something that is still rearing its ugly head seriously in Nigeria. But then another school of thought believes that Buhari has failed in that area. You seem to be too confident in the administration of President Buhari. Why?
Well, it's always the same. They are always two sides of the coin. Buhari have done very well in some areas. He have not done very well in most areas. You know, I'm one Nigerian who will start to say the truth. I am an Igbo man. I want to see a government that give equality to everybody. I want to see a government that will be able to obey the law and the orders of court. I want to see a government that will respect the rules of judiciary, respect everybody, respect also the rules of National Assembly. So this is what we are pleading. I think President Buhari has done very, very, very well in some areas. But in economy, he has not done very well. And I know what are the causes of these things, because a lot of water pass under the rock, and the rock is soaked. So I think gradually, we as a party, we as people, will gradually sort out this problem. Nigerians should still have hope in what this government can do, and the people. Although things are very difficult, I agree, and especially for those of us who are traders in West African coast, you see that things are still very difficult, not really the way it's supposed to be.
Now, if I want you to expatiate on the water that passed under the rock, we're likely to mention past years of PDP, of which you were a member.
I have left PDP since 2006. You know, I've never been a member of PDP since 2006. I've been in PPA, and that is the truth. And I wasn't part of those that broke the central bank, on those that took the money without receipts. And all the international intelligence agencies are still surprised that what happened in Nigeria, that people can come overnight and broke the vote and take away money without receipts. So that is the law. This is Nigeria. So what can we do? So I don't like to talk about PDP because it's, you know, PDP, and one of the founding fathers of PDP was almost, if PDP is a company, I own 90% of it, like Atiku Abubakar, like some other few people. So, you know, I don't like to talk. I'm passionate about how we formed that party, and some few people in disgust of presidency hijacked the party and took it away. And that is the trouble. And I'm surprised that even the people that caused the trouble in PDP are saying they are setting up third force. How can you say the third force when you have not done well, when you are the problem of Nigeria?
Of the first and second forces.
And you are the problem of the first force, second force, and third force. President Obasanjo was the problem. And if I am a head of state, Obasanjo is not supposed to be going around the road. He's supposed to be in jail. Because there's every evidence that $16 billion we are missing for electricity. We are still in darkness. So how can we be talking about this? Nigeria is a country that most leaders have no courage, including President Buhari. If Buhari have courage, number one person to be arrested will be Obasanjo today. And he has not done that. So he has not started fighting the corruption. Corruption will be started the day Obasanjo is in jail.
Because he messed up your air business?
No, he took my bank. No, because it's corrupt. Did you listen to Hard Talk? BBC Hard Talk. They told him easily that he's the most corrupt Nigerian leader. He started corruption. He started bribing people for 10 time in National Assembly. The problem we have in National Assembly today is Obasanjo. And how do we address that matter? Because we are playing, no president should be above the law. If you are a president, you're gone against the law, we'll put you in jail. That is the starting point. If we have not done that, we have not started. I'm still waiting for President Buhari to show that he's really serious on fighting corruption. Most people that are supposed to be in jail are walking around the clock.
Obasanjo seems to be above the
He's
law.
above
That's
the
the
law.
meaning.
This is what BBC is saying. This is what international agencies are saying. He said, remove the hair under your eye. We have not done that because he messed up everything we are doing today. From the 1999 to today, Obasanjo should not be talking about third force. I'm ashamed that even Nigerians will go to a meeting in Obasanjo's house, say they are talking about third force.
But fortunately or unfortunately, you discover that Some, if not many political parties, believe that they still have to visit Obasanjo either in Abeokuta or Ota before they can become a formidable team.
Because they are short-sighted. They don't know what is happening internationally. There's no international, apart from AU, the EU have no regard for Obasanjo. The Americans have no regard for him because he is totally a failure. He messed up everything we are. And people are still saying this. Why should we respect him? The Buhari administration have not even proved the private sectors that stole a lot of money. A lot of private sector people stole money with Obasanjo, and people are leaving them. And that is not how a country works. A country must be a country of justice, a country of fairness, a country of nobody should be above the law. This is what this country should be if we really want to talk about the country. We are not yet ready to fight corruption. We are not yet ready. If we want to fight corruption, we should start from President Obasanjo.
Good. In present-day Nigeria, is there anything like marginalization of Igbo?
Yes. Igbos are marginalized. All the governments that been here have marginalized us. Since after the Civil War, Igbos are not the same. And they know it's the truth. And I don't hide myself in speaking the truth. They know that Igbos have suffered injustice in the hands of every government from the beginning to the last. Nobody should say he did not know this. So we are seeing remedy. The remedy we are seeing today, not on the appointment, but go and see the expressway in Enugu Port Harcourt Expressway. President Buhari is doing it. The Enugu Oka Expressway, President Buhari is doing it. The Niger Bridge is being built now. So we don't even need the appointments. Give us the roads, give us the seaport. We will survive. We are people who knows how to survive. We fought a civil war, and that war, people think we will go down. We didn't go down. So they want to kill us before we can come up. It's not the way to run a nation. A nation should be a nation of fairness. A nation should be a nation where one president should come and do everybody like others. Where one tribe should not be looked down, you want to suppress them. You cannot continue. On process of suppressing people, you go down. Because the only thing that can save the country is fairness. The law must be the same. The arresting of people must be the same. Look at, people in Igbo are writing to me to say, why don't you talk to the president? That the only chief of army staff that have been detained is Ihejrika. Why must they detain him? I told them I don't know. I've been overseas. And I placed call to people I know to ask why must he be the only chief of army staff. So these are things that make people to say that Igbos are marginalized. There are many other chief of army staff who have worked from 1999 till today. None of them have been detained, except been called for, except Ihejrika. This is what they are writing me. I show you my text before this interview that people are telling me. And I've never been to Abuja since January. This is my first time of coming. So people are saying, why must we be Igbos? So my problem with the system is that the system should be very fair. Whether Obasanjo is the president, whether Babangida is the president, whether it's Buhari, whether it's anybody, you should give us fairness. You should give us equal pedestal to match on.
Now, how can the Igbo become relevant? You are very close to the headquarters.
Where is the headquarters?
The villa, the presidency.
Yes, I have been President Buhari's a young friend for a long time. Like I was to Babangida, that I was to Obasanjo. So I've always, I cannot come now and tell you he's not my friend. And let me be honest with you. He's doing what he's supposed to do for our people. But people still want him to give us secretary to government, give us this and give us that. And we expect he will do it.
Which of course we need.
Yes, which of course we would like to have. Because people like us who can talk, we are not in that party at that time. Later after the election, we'll get whatever that is due to us. We will vote, we support him, and he will give us what is due to us. If you don't run, you don't lick orange. It's only when you run in primary school that they give you orange to take. So we have not, this is a zone that gave the man less than 4% voting power. This is a zone that didn't do well in voting. And although nobody should be judged by the amount of votes we casted, but because we're all Nigerians. But the man is doing a massive infrastructure development for us now, unlike past governments. The same expressway we have been talking since 1999 is being built now by President Buhari.
I wonder if you will still be talking like this if you were still to be in PDP.
No. You know I'm a very objective man. Forget about the party I belong to. I'm a friend of President Jonathan. I'm a friend of President Buhari. I'm a friend of Makarafi. I'm a friend of Wike. Wike is my very close friend. Whether I'm a friend of Ayo Fayoshe, I'm a friend of everybody. So my own has nothing to do with, I can stop being a member of the party tomorrow. I can say I don't want to belong to any party, lie, and live in my house in Iberi. And I will survive. You were here, they have done everything to grant me. They closed the bank, they closed the airline, they took my oil block, they took everything. But I'm still surviving because I ran away from Nigeria and went to West Coast to do my business. And that is the way it should be. They have killed everything I should be doing here. And this is why I'm never in the country. I'm always in the West Coast, in the Central African Republic and the West African Republic. So I am a survivalist. And I hope all Igbo brothers are the same. Allow us to participate in government fully so we can hold. It's only Igbos that can hold this place together. Forget that there was a misunderstanding in 1966 and all the rest of them, and Igbos paid the price. We paid the heavy price for that misunderstanding that we never caused. All the people that did that coup are not Igbos. Major Kaduna Nzogwe is from Delta, although it's Igbo. And all the people you see at Dewale, all the people that did that coup, none of them is from Abia, none of them is from Anambra, none of them is from Imo, but Enugu State. But we are paying the price today. We are not supposed to. This is a free system. The system is supposed to welcome us back to know that the war has ended. So this is where we are today.
Now you are so confident that second term for Buhari will spell boom for Southeast. But here is a gentleman, the former minister, ABC Nwosu. Let me quote him. Igbos are lazy thinkers. Vote for Buhari will extend Igbos' slavery. Are Igbos slaves?
We can never be slave to anybody. I'm not a slave. Maybe he's a slave. He's my senior brother. I don't like to discuss people like that because I'm very close to him. He's also my neighbor, next door house. So I don't want to discuss him, but I'm not a slave. If he's a slave, good luck to him. I'm not a slave. I know all Abia people, and where I'm marrying from Anambra, I know they are not slaves. They are proud blue blood of this nation, and we are not slaves to anybody. But I want to contradict them that a vote for Buhari is the shortest way to Igbo presidency in 2023. Yes. I want you to quote me any day you are saying. Say that Orji Kalu told you that a vote for Buhari is the shortest way for Igbo presidency.
I was in your house a night when SGF boss Mustafa said something like that not long ago, that a vote for Buhari will spell boom for Igbo in 2023.
That is the correct thing to do. That is the truth. So let people stop deceiving us. I read Professor Nwabeze the other day, where he said that without restructuring, there is no need of Igbo presidency. Where do you want to give Igbo's presidency when the country is restructured? I would not like to be president in a restructured Nigeria. I would like to use the executive power others have used. So until Igbos have been president, it's not beneficiary to anybody for us to restructure.
Let's go to your party, All Progressives Congress. There seems to be a love lost between leader Bola Tinubu and Oyegun. Well, we hear now that there has been an extension in the tenure, but he was clamoring that Oyegun's tenure should end even before June. Is this the best for APC?
Well, you know, Bola Tinubu is a close friend of mine and is also national leader of the party. And Oyegu is the national chairman of the party and a very close friend of mine since when he was permanent secretary in the days of PAMSEC. I was a young businessman. So I will not want to dive into that matter because President Buhari and his wisdom, they are all fighting tooth and nail to settle that matter. And we will settle the matter amicably. And this is why there's no fight. There's nobody going to fight anybody. We are not going to fight. I'm only saying this evening that President Buhari has a role to play in settlement of the crisis in our party. There are some settlements that Governor Tinubu cannot do alone. There are some settlements that Oyegu, as national chairman, cannot do alone. President Buhari must step up to settle some of these settlements. We need to quickly, as soon as possible, settle differences of our members of APC in the Senate. We need to quickly settle members of the National Assembly, caucus of APC. We need to bring them back to life. We need to make sure that APC people in the National Assembly are settled as soon as possible because this is, we're a ruling party. We don't need to be having division. They should be able to settle. Federal government and the National Assembly should sit back as a party in office and discuss and come back to a common ground. The common ground is very important, and that is the only thing that will move democracy forward.
Now, are you getting progressive reports from Tinubu's reconciliatory drive? I'm asking this based on the fact that even Kano State Ganduje is still saying that there cannot be reconciliation between him and his predecessor, Kwankwaso.
I'm sure you press people are misquoting Ganduje.
Okay.
There is no man on earth who will not want peace. Every human being needs peace to live. And the Kwankwaso is a good friend of mine, and I'm sure that both of them will find a common ground. Those are the kind of areas I want Mr. President to intervene and settle them. Because the president is the president of Nigeria and is father of everybody.
PDP, in some occasions, has been accusing APC of preparing probably to rig elections come 2019. Well, one doesn't know how far that can be correct, but which is not our business here. But then recently, it was alleged that APC imported military equipment, and when the customs officer did their job, got the materials, they traced it into the package to Governor Yahaya Bello of Kogi State. Did you hear this report? I
didn't hear anything. You know, I've been out, and I'm not a custom officer, one, and I'm not from Kogi. But I know Governor Yahaya Bello as a very decent person, and I'm not sure he can go along going to break the law to import anything. People should stop propaganda that can put us in trouble. People should stop. The problem of the country is the politicians. Before, if you go to Abia, we have the Hausa quarters. We have the Igbo, we have the Hausa quarters in Enugu. We have in Onitsha. We had in Benue. It's the politicians who started making these divisions, both in church, religion, and all the rest of them. The politicians should leave politics to drive. Let them criticize themselves based on competence, based on what you can do. I believe in that. Nigeria's problem is not political. Our problem is economical. So once we solve the economical problem, there will be prosperity to everybody. If the masses are not asking you for too much, what they are asking is to put 3 square meals on our table. This is what Nigerian people are saying. So all these politicians are the ones going to raise problems. Are there not Fulani herdsmen before? They have been there for more than 100 years. So where are they carrying on? Because people are going to borrow. When I shouted last year that these are imported people, until SSS came out, I said, yes, they found out they are imported people. Nobody supported me. They say, Orji Kalu talk too much. People will say, I'm an Igbo man to a heart, but trained by Hausa Fulani. Started my business in the western part of Nigeria. I understand this country better than some of our leaders. The country is being killed by politicians who are anxious to be relevant and kill the other person's image.
Now, we just got a report that northern leaders have inaugurated committees for 2019 polls, and what they are looking at, the restructuring security in the north. Is the South planning something like this?
Well, the Southerners should stop going about and come into the house and plan like the Northern leaders. The Northern leaders are people like people from South. Are they not human beings? They are planning for their well-being of the Northern Nigeria. The Southern leaders should also go and plan for the well-being of Southern Nigeria. It's simple, but that will not solve the problem. We must all plan for well-being of total Nigeria. Whether you are north or east or west is irrelevant. What is relevant is ability to solve our problems, an ability to be able to say we are Nigerians, an ability to work together, ability to accept one rule of law, ability to accept the judgment given in a court in Ibere or in a court in Birinakebi, and federal government, state government, everybody will obey the law. This is what the country needs, not who is planning what. If there is rule of law and fairness, Nigeria will be a better place today, because the more we are not adhering to rule of law, the more the society is decaying. We should stop that decay and be able to say we are Nigerians. Nigeria needs a leader that is a Nigerian, not a leader from north or south or west. A leader will say, no, I'm a Nigerian. And this leader, Nigeria, this is what, if President Buhari wins second tenure, you will see a new Buhari in an Igbo cap, Hausa cap, Urobo cap, Yoruba cap, and we will get him ready to show the next 4 years, because it's his legacy.
You seem to be so confident about President Muhammadu Buhari. Do you believe in human beings that way?
Well, I'm confident because the international agencies also have confidence in him. All the intelligence agencies, all the agencies of the Northern America, European Union, they have confidence that he still have more job to do in 4 years. This is the truth. And I cannot say, and even the World Bank and the IMF believe he still have job to do.
Well, we have a job on our hands. Deputy Senate President Ikekwe Madu believes that democracy is under threat. And he now asks Ikekwe, he even spoke to the soldiers that, Army, please stay clear of politics. He even asked himself a question that, who says the army cannot take over? Is there any cause for alarm in your own estimate?
Well, Nigerian unity has been challenged several times. This is not the first time, and it's going to be the last time. When President Obasanjo was president, the unity of the country was challenged seriously. And things that happened 1999 to 2007, half of them have not happened. They have not happened even now. So I don't know why most people are crying more than the bereaves. I'm not saying that Buhari is a godsend. I'm not saying he has performed wonders. I'm saying that things are not really the way it's supposed to be with our people. It has always been, I have no interest in what happens to Senate President or Deputy Senate President or President Buhari. I have no interest. My interest is where the masses should eat. That is my interest. If Buhari can just give a policy that will make the masses be safe with their pot of soup, they can sit in their houses to eat soup, nobody will harass them. When I was governor of Abia, we were able to eradicate armed robbers and these kidnappers. And in a short while, I told them I would do it, and I did it. And nobody, you can leave your car open in Abia, and the car will be there. So you can see, country should be a country where everybody should have belief in. I don't want to quote what Ikekwe Madu says, but nobody should ostracize anybody for his opinion. If this is his opinion, his opinion. Why must people call to harass him or say anything? It's his opinion. Opinion of any person should be respected.
Now, let's go into the area of economy as we are rounding up the program. We've been talking to you as a politician, but now as a businessman, you own banks and some other economically related companies. Now, IMF wants quality review of Nigeria's bank assets. What do you understand as this?
Yes, the bank assets, some of them are toxic. Like we, in the industry. The petroleum industry went very down. I have assets in petroleum industry. Some of them have gone very bad. This is what IMF want to be reviewed, and it's the truth. So people who are in petroleum industry, who are in other related industry, like shipping, like oil, they have some problems. There were major problems, and government didn't support us. So these are the areas IMF are talking about. So time to time, it's just only in Nigeria, if IMF speak, people just take it over. Oh, there is problem. Mind you, when Sanusi was there, he saw also there was a review in banking industry. He marked the banks, consolidation which Soludo started. So when people are speaking, they should also speak, because the capacity utilization of the country is very down, and everybody will feel concerned. Because of the recession, because of the prices of oil went very bad, so these are bound to affect the banking assets, the petroleum assets, and even the household assets. Every asset has been affected in this process. And this is what IMF is saying: review the banking assets and what you have, which is normal. It's a policy IMF usually issue, or issue in an annual meeting or something of that nature. So I don't see anything wrong in asking people to review your assets and what you have to do. What our subsidiary in shipping, we have a huge problem there, and we're reviewing the asset. That is the way to go.
Right now, within the banks, do you think we have high interest rate?
Yes, we have high interest rates.
And we want it to come down?
Yes, of course. Interest should be single digit in any civilized country that want to make progress. If I'm president of Nigeria, I'll fight for the interest to be single digit.
All right, before you go, 35 years ago, Nigeria was doing brilliantly well, better than China per capita. Africa even boasted better economic indices than China. Now the reverse is the case. How can Africa now develop like China?
We have no national ethos. We need a president. We need people who will say they are Nigerians. We don't need anybody like me or President Buhari or President Babangida or President Jonathan who will say he's Igbo. We need a president that will come out and say, I'm a Nigerian. Enough is enough. And our politicians are not helping matters. Because we continue, if we give a good input, we'll have a very good output. But if you give the worst input, you have a very wrong input. So we need to start addressing the problem of the nation. We need to put a challenge to our national ethos. The ethos are zero. We have no nationalism. Chinese have nationalism of a country. They have nationalism, respect to one another. They have all this one, you are Igbo, you are Hausa, you are this one. Go to China, you can live anywhere. You can do anything you like. And Chinese government realizes that the greatest gift will be the economic development. And they move on that, and which is what I've always preached. I've always said, if any government want to succeed, they must put economic prosperity to the people. Lift more Nigerians from underground to semi-middle class, and lead people from middle class to upper class. People must be moved. But it's stagnant now. It's either you are rich or you are very poor, which is not, economy cannot work this way. I'm ashamed when people see countries like Malaysia, Indonesia, outputting, we have everything to make this economy one of the 5th largest economy in the world, on earth. We have the human resources, we have the products, look at palm oil. Federal government is still allowing palm oil to be imported here. Why should you do that? When you are asking people to develop palm oil. So why should you do that? Even if the WTO, the World Trade Organization, say you should keep your border open. It's not everything they tell you that you will do. You tell them, no, I cannot. Palm oil must not be imported in Nigeria. I'm just giving an example. There are many other things like that. So you don't joke, you don't leave certainty to uncertainty. The palm oil is certain for us to export. And you are importing palm oil from Malaysia. How can people succeed? Federal government, as a matter of fact, the Minister of Agriculture, Chief Audobe, should, as a matter of urgency now, give instruction that no custom should allow palm oil to come into Nigeria again. It should have to be export, because where Buhari's government have made a lot of people to invest in the farms and in palm oil, so they should be able to ban it. It's not even WTO. We can pull out of them. It doesn't make any meaning. Sometimes you have to realize this kind of. There are things you can never accept in your agreement, within country to country, or agreement that country to country sign, or organization. You pull out and say, no, we don't agree on this one. On this one, we stand by. That is how people should rule a country.
Thank you very much for your time on the program, Dr. Kalu. We really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. And on that note, we end this week's edition of Clearview. My guest has been two-term governor of Abia State. He's a businessman and a politician, Dr. Orji Uzor Kalu. Well, he's been able to tell us a lot about the ruling All Progressives Congress. He spoke about security. He spoke about the economy. We hope we'll be able to bring him to the studio very, very soon to talk on other areas, especially diversification from oil, which we are all talking about. I agree. We still want to know from him, can mining be an area we can easily diversify into? I am Odion Bello. Bye for now.